let's get started. Alright, so fast forward today from me having my cup of coffee and front end's disassembled, except, or as far as the body. We got the fender, hood, bumper, and passenger fender all right here. And I thought about just reworking the fiberglass on this, but you can see right here, it's cracked all the way across. So structurally, I'm not sure how sound it is, and I can just get a new one for about what it would cost for replacement on the fiberglass. I gotta get it repainted anyway, so I'm not saving a lot of money by just repairing the factory one. Now, when it comes to taking these fenders off, I didn't get a video of it because I was a little iffy whether I was gonna put all this stuff on YouTube to begin with. So, sorry I missed out on that. Y'all get there whenever I put it back on. But taking the fenders off is pretty straightforward. There's 2 or 3 bolts going across the top. There's 1 or 2 inside the fender wells. Now, here is where the tricky part is. I was unable to open this door because the fender had folded underneath it from the impact in the front. To take the fender off, there are 2 bolts that you have to get to through here. You need a little, I think it's a 8mm, and you need about a 10-inch 3/8 extension to go straight through here. Let's see if I can, to that bracket right there. It's kind of right there. And the other one is right there. Now, if for whatever reason your door doesn't open like mine did, or didn't at the time, it is a doozy to get these 2. I should have got it on film because it was a test of patience. But this bracket and this bracket are the 2 that are pretty much the last 2 that hold all this on. Also, you need to get your antenna out. But other than that, if everything's straight, all of this is so easy to take off. I mean, you don't need a tutorial. You don't need to walk through. There's 2 bolts here for your hood, 2 bolts on the other side. The bumper is pretty much a bunch of body clips. This is the little hood light that goes inside. It just runs underneath the liner of your hood. It goes down right there. I mean, it's all super simple. So, partially because I just didn't record it, and partially because I didn't need to. But super simple. So I am about to go in the old work truck to Harbor Freight, give me an engine brace bar or support bar, whatever you want to call it. Part of it sits here on the frame rail, goes across, sits here, and it bolts to the engine the same places that they used for the assembly line. I don't know exactly where they are. I'll have to find them and get back to you whenever we're hooking it up. But there's spare holes in the block used for the assembly line that aren't used for anything else. That's what it'll hook to. And then we'll start the disassembly of the K-member, which I couldn't find a video online anywhere of dropping a K-member on an SN95 Cobra. So this will be educational for both of us. Drop the K-member, shocks, springs, pads, rotors, bushings, everything. And then once this is down, probably has me the most nervous of this whole project. Let's see if I can get a picture. These little suckers right here. Exhaust manifold. This car is 96, so it's 20-something years old of heating and cooling and dirty on those bolts, and I am terrified that at least one of these manifold bolts is going to break off inside the block. And I mean, it's too far disassembled to drive it anywhere to get it taken out, so I'm probably gonna soak it in some PB Blaster. I have drill bits if it comes to that. I really hope it doesn't, but wish me luck. Let's go get and we're back. Got our Pittsburgh engine sport bar, 1,000-pound, bar sport engine. You know what I mean. I also got us a little spark plug socket. Didn't have one. Thought it did. Also got some grease fittings because I noticed when I got under there the other day, just checking things out and make sure everything was all right. The passenger side upper and lower control arms do not have the grease Alamite fittings. I'll show you what I mean. Alright, it may be a little harder now that it's on the ground, but hang with me here. Okay, so lower control arm, top bolt. You see, this is our little Alamite, little grease fitting. I've already greased it and everything. Does not come pre-greased, by the way. In case you get these, go ahead and invest in a new little grease gun. And this is the passenger side. Same exact control arm. No fitting. Don't know why. Had to call BBK to get the size. In case y'all get stuck in the same situation. They are 1/4 inch grease fittings. So we're gonna put those on. Put both of these. I think there's an upper and a lower for each. Awesome. Control arm. So one. Put these back. I'm hoping these just need to be finger tight, but I'll put a wrench on there just to make sure. First of all, let's make sure they're the right size before we really start this day off wrong. All right. Where's that? Lift up. They're not threaded. I guess you can see this. There's no threads. So I don't know how they expect me to grease these. And there's no fucking grease fitting. And there's no threads to install new ones. Okay, well, I have to give old BBK a call on that. So, I guess I'll update y'all on that in a minute. First, let's get this unboxed and stick it on there. So, went ahead and just got off the phone with BBK, and their solution, they told me, was just to buy a tap. Tap it out. Which, sure, that'll solve the problem. Shouldn't have to go through all that when I just spent a sizable chunk of money on your upper and lower control arms, where half of it is not like it's supposed to be. So, I don't want to go through the trouble of nailing them back and everything else. They're already mounted. So I guess I'm gonna have to buy a fucking tap. Whatever. We'll get it done. Alright, so... Oh, goodness, that's heavy. Here's our support bar. This is gonna be really hard to do with one hand holding the camera. So, let me get this together, get it up here, and we'll be back. Alright, braces on there. Real easy to put together. It's from Harbor Freight. It's like 5 bolts. So this will hold the engine, or just support it really well whenever I drop the K-member, so nothing sags or anything like that. From my understanding, there is a hook in the back of the engine, or there are bolts on or bolt holes on each side of the engine that were used during the assembly line process that we can lock onto, and it won't. I mean, it's not going to affect structurally the engine anyway or damage it. Side note, before I get rolling, we now have 8 subscribers. We're daggum, we're going to take over the world. Tavares, Goon Squad, all y'all watch out. All right, now, next step, braces here. I'm going to start taking apart the top just a little bit, strut tire brace, get this intake on. We got a new JLT fender well intake anyway. We're going to take this off of here, put something inside the throttle body so it doesn't get dirty or nasty. I'm going to try and take apart as much of the really easy stuff on top as I can, or to take apart as little as possible to be able to get to what I need to, so it's just less to put back together. But while I was back here, I noticed some hoses right there, and I'm pretty sure that's for my heater. So I have no heat in this car, apparently. That will have to be addressed. But let me prop this phone up in somewhere and get to disassembly. Ow! No! Oh. Dang it. Okay, so a lot has happened the past few minutes. Got the factory radiator out. There's the new one. And I've been working on this AC condenser. Which let me first of all, I done scalped my daggum knuckle trying to use these, which they worked, but so I could not find anything, video, walkthrough, nothing about getting a condenser for a 96 Cobra out. Well, let me tell you something. It ain't easy. Once you get your radiator out, there's not too much to it. Get the radiator out. There are these 2 high, well, where'd the other line go? Got a high line and a low line. A hook into there like that. You have to use these AC fuel disconnect tools, which red fit for my application. Basically, you slip it over like that, and then you push towards the flange, towards this rounded piece. It goes in like that, taking off the washers, and it's able to pull out. But first of all, be warned, you need to discharge your system before you do anything. For me, it was, well, it was, there's the screw's up there, but there's a bolt right here. You loosen that, that's the Freon out. Then you pop these 2 off, and there are these 2 brackets that sit on the top like that, that hold in the top. This bracket, the screw is hidden behind this wire right there. Hard to find. So, and the other one's right here. Well, right, come on, right there. Now, once these 2 are out, and you're disconnected from your high and your low, it should, I haven't done a test on this yet, it should, lift right out. So, factory radiator, AC condenser, and for those of you who don't know, the 96 AC condenser had a factory recall because the fins were way too dense, and you can barely see through it. They're super, super dense, which allowed very little air to actually get to the radiator, causing overheating. So if you have a 96 and you're rocking the factory, or 96 Cobra, rocking the factory AC condenser, change it immediately. If you're running hot, that's probably why. Now you can see through the front. I'm thinking I may go ahead and do the water pump while I'm nice and open like this. I don't know, man. I'm pretty beat for the day. We may wait till tomorrow to put in the new condenser and the radiator. I'm gonna go in here and lick my wounds. So next video, we'll install the radiator, the new AC condenser, and we will go ahead and do the water pump while we're in here. All right, gentlemen, until next time.